that's the reality of like taking a leap on like business or betting on yourself, or even in real estate, right? I mean, to throw in money on a deal, you just gotta, sometimes it's that no fear, sometimes it's just taking that risk of like it working out, and sometimes it won't work out, and that's okay. You just keep doing it. For us, the value is learning.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Real Estate Podcast. Today we have a very special guest. We have Dawid Bednarek. He is an entrepreneur, owner of 2 or 3 coffee shops. How many?
2.
2 coffee shops.
2 locations. Yeah.
2 coffee shops, real estate investor, member of the entrepreneur community. We've known Dawid probably for about 5-6 months now.
Yeah.
And Dawid puts in work every single day. He's out there looking for deals, getting deals done. And so I'm excited for everybody to learn about him and his story today. So thanks for coming on.
Yeah, appreciate you having me.
One thing,
excited.
Make sure you keep this mic a little bit closer to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So tell me a little bit about kind of where you come from, how you grew up. I like to learn about, how you grew up as a kid and your family and kind of what shaped you into who you are today.
Yeah. So actually born in Germany. My family's from Poland. So first generation in America.
Where at in Germany?
So I was born in a town called Bad Münster. Yeah. It's in West Germany. Okay. So my parents had to live in Germany for almost a year to be able to move to America. So that's kind of how that happened.
Why is that?
Just to be able to get our papers. Poland was like a communist state at the time. This was 84. Mm-hmm. And my brother was 3. I had an older brother. He's hung out with my grandparents, and we moved to Germany, and then moved.
Everybody moved to Germany?
No, so just my parents for a little bit. It was probably like 8 months, and then I was born. About a month or 2 later, they got their transfer paperwork and moved to Denver because we had some family already there. Okay. So lived there for about 9 years, and then moved to Austin.
All right.
Yeah, or Round Rock is where I grew up for the most part.
Why'd your family move to Round Rock or Austin?
My dad was a truck driver, and I guess he got a pretty sweet gig out of Austin. I don't know how or Round Rock. I don't know how he found it or what happened, but he moved us all out here. Okay. We didn't really know anybody either, so.
And did your brother end up joining you guys, or he stayed in Poland?
Yeah, no, he joined us in Germany when we were ready to leave, and then he came with us. Yeah.
Okay, very cool. So, and your grandparents and other family, they stayed in Poland?
So I've got some aunts, uncles, and cousins still in Denver, and then still have all grandparents and a set of cousins in Poland still.
You ever go visit them?
And it's been like 20 years. Yeah.
What's
one day?
You ever go back to Germany?
No, it's been like 20 years. Yeah, it's the last time we went to my cousin's wedding when I was like, I don't know, 17 or something. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay,
so
cool.
It's been a while.
And so you went to McNeil High School, right?
I did, yeah.
What year did you graduate there?
02.
02.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know somebody named Kyle Banks?
That does sound familiar. Yeah, I think so. He was old. I think he's a year older.
Yeah, he was sometime around then.
Okay.
But I was just curious. And so growing up in McNeil, kind of what were did you have plans of owning your own business and investing in real estate, or?
No, I never did. Honestly, man, I was so tied into sports when I was a kid and growing up. I didn't think of anything differently. I played mainly baseball and football.
Okay. What position in both?
I was mainly a shortstop, and then like a running back and quarterback in football.
You're a varsity starting quarterback?
Yeah, senior year.
All right.
Yeah. It didn't start out that way, but we didn't have, it ended up that way. So
okay,
it was good. We had a good year. Actually enjoyed football better than baseball, but ended up going to play baseball in college at Texas State. So yeah, that's kind of how.
You played a shortstop at Texas State?
No, I actually ended up playing catcher. That was a long story, but
yeah,
and it got me in the lineup. So
Cool. And Texas State, they gave you a full ride or scholarship to play?
So I went to JUCO for a year out in Weatherford, which is by Fort Worth. And they gave me some scholarship money, and I ended up transferring to Texas State as a walk-on, and eventually they gave me some money. But I had some academic scholarship stuff too that helped me out, so it worked out where college was paid for, so it was nice.
Good.
Yeah.
And so this whole time, high school, college, really just kind of focused on sports. No focus. I mean, I just wanted to play sports, and then, you know, my parents always wanted me to do business, so I just went business in school, right? I think I had a little bit of, like, entrepreneurial type of stuff of owning my own business because my parents did. You know, my dad was a truck driver, basically an owner-operator all his life, ran his own truck. Yeah, how does that work? So you mentioned he got an opportunity to come to Austin. So as a truck driver, basically you own your truck and you just run routes for people, and you're a contractor? Or?
Yeah, so it's almost like a brokerage, right? So there was a main company and he was an individual owner operator under that company, and they fed him, you know, and then
routes and things.
And you know, they'd take a percentage, et cetera, and then he'd have to kind of make his own routes.
Got it. Okay.
So, and he used to do furniture, and then he transitioned to car, like he was a car carrier now. And he's still doing it. He's doing it on his own now. Now you don't have like those third party brokerage companies because everything's like online. Like you could just book your own stuff online and stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's pretty cool.
And your mom?
And she was mostly like stay at home, and then she got into like cosmetology, esthetician type of work for a while there, so she was kind of running her own business, doing that as well. So I think naturally just like seeing that, I mean, we never really talked about it or like, you know, running your own business or starting your own business, but I think it just seems like naturally kind of probably had some sort of effect on me in regards to like wanting to do something like that.
Yeah.
So
what about your brother? What does your brother do?
And he's a firefighter.
Okay,
very
cool.
He climbed the ranks pretty quick. He's a badass.
Where here in?
No, he's out in like the Houston area. Baytown is kind of his spot.
Okay.
He lives in like northeast Houston, Humboldt, Kingwood area out there. He's been out there since college, but he went to Texas State for a short stint with me. So we're in college, and then I came back home this way to Round Rock. He went to Houston, and it's kind of where we've been.
Got it.
But yeah, he's like almost a chief now. So.
All right. Is that abnormal? You said he climbed the ranks pretty quick.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that I don't know if it's
to become
abnormal.
a chief that fast, I guess. Or
yeah, I mean, he was just motivated to do it, which was not. I mean, not a lot of people kind of, I guess, make that. I mean, there's only like one, right, in a certain area, or like, one lieutenant. I think he's lieutenant technically right now, and there's only like one per a certain area, so it just takes the right person. But he was pretty motivated. Yeah.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
And so when you graduated from Texas State, what'd you end up doing?
Came back home to Round Rock and got into banking. Chase Bank, big corporate.
Why'd you go that route?
Honestly, I didn't. I had a short stint at a mortgage lending company, and then that was 2007 when things started spiraling down, and then 2008 hit. So then everybody closed their doors and just got into banking because I didn't really had a buddy that was working at a bank and got me a job. So that was about it.
So he got you the job at Chase?
Yeah. I was just a personal banker, and then for the next 9 years, I just different positions: banking, managing, business banking, business lending.
So what does being a personal banker mean?
Essentially, I mean, you're kind of the front. Back then when we were doing it, you're the like main people from, when people come in and chat about either new accounts or credit cards, investments, loans. You're kind of the main person that they talk to, and then you kind of engage them into going to those different specialists.
So they got like the tellers and then the bankers, and the bankers are the ones meeting with them, talking about loan options, getting all the required documents. How how does a banker get paid? I'm sure it differs.
Yeah, man, we had these things called, well, I mean, it's just like a point system, right? So like for every account that you open, you get a certain amount of points, amount of balances that you could bring over, you get a certain amount of points, and throughout these points, you get paid on a commission.
And then base salary too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. And so you were at Chase Bank for 7 years?
9.
9 years.
Yeah, about 9 years.
And you had a bunch of different positions there.
Yeah. Mostly management at some point for about 4 or 5 years. In the last year, I was in business banking and lending. So small businesses, and helping them with lines of credit, et cetera, or real estate loans. Which allowed me to get into. I got recruited over to a small bank out in Liberty Hill called Classic Bank, and as a commercial lender. And went out there and was there for about 4 years, and that was really when I mean, we did a lot of real estate, land loans, lot loans, business, commercial lines of credit, different things like that, and that's kind of where I started really seeing the opportunity in real estate.
What year did you move to Classic?
Man, that was, I think, 2016, yeah.
Okay, so in 2016, you started at Classic, and you were doing a lot of real estate loans. And so at what point did you end up leaving Classic, and why?
I left, that was after 4 years. I mean, I left in 20, I think. Yeah, during the pandemic year, maybe. I left because I wanted to open up a coffee shop.
Yeah, so let's talk about it. And you've mentioned a couple times, leaving corporate.
Yeah.
So it sounds like maybe you didn't enjoy that very much.
Yeah, I mean, it has the pros and cons, but when you're kind of limited, right, to kind of what you want to do. I mean, a lot of times you feel handcuffed, and that's what I didn't like about being in corporate in regards to like either getting deals done or what you're able to do on a day-to-day basis. So
it's not really your decision.
Right. Yeah.
That's what you mean by being handcuffed?
Yeah, exactly. Or there's just so many dang hoops to jump through, right? To when it makes sense, and you still gotta jump through a bunch of hoops to maybe get a deal done. It was just frustrating at times. So that's kind of.
Yeah. Did you like lending though? I mean,
I did like it. I mean, I like numbers and analysis and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it, and plus, you build relationships with these people that are in real estate, and, or you build them a house. I mean, we did a lot of construction loans for custom homes too, which was fun to see people build their dream home, right? So
yeah,
that was cool.
And so, why a coffee shop? Walk us through this thought process of leaving, maybe what's considered a steady job.
Yeah.
You were with your wife at the time, right?
Yeah.
When did y'all meet?
2014.
2014.
Yeah.
And did she have her salons and everything at that time?
No. She was working for a school, for a cosmetology school.
Okay.
And then she actually transitioned into running for a different salon, running 4 of their locations. Like she was kind of like the manager for it. And at that time,
we're talking about like 2014 time frame or 2020?
2014. She was at the school for a few years, so 2016-ish probably. She went and worked for 2016, 2017, worked for this other salon for maybe another 2 years, and then I convinced her to do it herself. So
y'all both did it about the same time?
Well, she was before me. She was about 2019. So, and when you start a business, there's a lot more planning involved that people don't see behind the scenes, right? So we opened in 2019, but the reality is we started putting pieces into place probably a year ahead of that in regards to finding a place, getting all the equipment, build out. I mean, build out alone was 6 months. So,
of her first salon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's we probably jumped in 2018, officially opened in 2019.
Do you have any kids?
We've got 3.
3 kids?
Yeah.
How
15, almost 6, and then 3.
Okay. Got it. So the reason I'm asking,
house.
is I'm trying to understand. You know, a lot of people, especially with 3 kids,
Mm-hmm.
right? You and your wife both had good, steady jobs. A lot of people, I feel, are in fear about making that jump and like leaving a steady job, leaving, you know, corporate America, leaving a base salary plus commission and healthcare and all the things that people enjoy as security. And so maybe before you left banking, was your wife's salon already kind of successful and running and going?
Yeah, so it worked out where we kind of laddered it, and it worked out good for us in regards to, you know, I was with the doing commercial lending and doing okay, and so we were able to say like, let's take this leap, right, of doing the salon. And once that got all ramped up and going, probably need to turn that off, right?
You're good.
Sorry.
It's your coffee distributor.
Yeah. Once that got all wrapped up and going, and we felt good about it, then that kind of allowed me to start planning. I already kind of started having the idea and planning of the coffee shop, you know, for a while. But here's where it really kind of came to fruition is we were about 2 years into the salon, and we're thinking, let's find another spot, right? A second location. So we looked, and we found this one in Hutto. That was about 2,400 square foot. It was an empty shell, and it's too big. She only needed half of that. And it was an end unit, had a little cutout window in the wall, and she was like, well, there you go. I think we need to just do one where it's hair salon and then you do your coffee shop next door. And we're like, okay. And now she was like, okay, you got to actually go through with this. I was like, okay. So that's kind of how it morphed into me coming in and doing the coffee shop at the same time of her doing that second location, because we were basically right next to each other, and we opened, construction at the same time, opened at the same time.
Where was the first salon at?
It's in Leander.
Still there?
Yeah. They're doing it. It's a great spot. It's over there off.
What's it called? Give it a little plug.
Yeah, Salt and Wave Salon. It's Lakeline and Crystal Falls.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a great area.
Where that Brooklyn Heights Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
It's in that same shopping center. Yeah. It's a great little spot.
And so, opening up the new spot in Hutto.
Mm-hmm.
Why'd y'all choose Hutto?
We like that spot because. So we've got a Hutto address, but really where we're at is that 130 in Gaddis School, which is where that HEB shopping center is. And we're a stone throw away from Hutto, Pflugerville, and Round Rock. So we just like the ability to get 3 communities in one location.
Mm-hmm.
So we like that. We like that we're kind of off that main toll road, and it's growing like crazy out towards in that area. And even, you know, Pflugerville, Hutto, and Round Rock. It's all just blown up that way. So,
right.
You know, I think we got in a little early, but it's been going well.
Good.
Yeah.
And so, got that spot in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So talk to me about the coffee shop, though, because you could start any business that you want, right?
Yeah.
You could have maybe started your own, like become a broker and for loans and stuff.
Sure.
Like, why Dwellhouse and why coffee and why the coffee shops?
I've always liked the ambiance of being in a coffee shop, working out of them. I enjoy coffee. I enjoy kind of the craft of it, the science behind it, etc. So, as I was freed up a little bit more when I was in banking, I tended to work out of coffee shops quite a bit, or meet clients at coffee shops, and that even intrigued me even more to be able to like do something. I'm like, how great would it be if I could have a place that, you know, I could drink coffee or have a beer and hang out and work, right? So it just kind of morphed out of that that yearning to hang out in a coffee shop.
I got it.
Yeah.
And tell me about Dwellhouse. So where'd you come up with this name? And
honestly, we just kind of started putting out names, and it just morphed into that. We narrowed it down to like 5 ones that we really liked, and and kind of started asking around what people liked, and it just, I mean, Dwell is kind of like a place to go hang out and community and and hang out and dwell, right? So I mean, that's kind of where that came from. And
I thought it was a Polish name.
Oh no.
Okay.
Dwell. Then it'd be Dwell with the W's being V's. Yeah.
David's name is spelled
Yeah.
Dawid.
All right. Yeah.
And one of the first times I spoke to David, I said, "You gotta tell me how to pronounce this. Is it Dawid or David or?"
Yeah, most people just go with Dawid or Dawid until I tell them it's pronounced still the same, but it's spelled with a W. But
Yeah. And so, all right. So you start the coffee shop 2020, second salon location.
Yep.
Had you invested in real estate prior to this time, or obviously maybe you owned your own house or something?
We did. So we live in Georgetown. We own that house at that time. We moved from Leander. I wish I never sold that house.
Mm-hmm.
Or my Pflugerville house, which I had 10 years ago, but coulda, woulda, shoulda. No, but when I was at the Classic Bank, I saw the opportunity in real estate, and I started meeting builders and contractors, et cetera. So I actually ended up being able to JV with a builder on the side on some specs. So we found some lots out in Bertram that I picked up and did the financing, and they built it at cost, and we basically JV'd it that way. So that was the start of really my real estate portfolio. And
nice. So how many houses was that?
We did excuse me, we probably did like 6 or 7 houses.
Okay.
Yeah, between 3 years.
Okay. And so y'all built them and then sold them?
Yeah.
How much y'all make off those builds? Not the exact number.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny because it's sometimes it's all about timing, right? And one time we hit the market, one time we didn't. So I think we were making on average probably $30,000 on the house
per home.
Yeah, that was for us. So each we would make probably 20 to 30 grand.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what were y'all selling them for?
Man, at the time we were selling them. I think the first one we sold at $279. I mean, these were 2,000 square foot houses on an acre lot in Bertram, which now they're probably twice that, right?
Yeah.
First one was probably 279, and then our last one was on an acre and a half. It was about 2,200 square foot, and it sold for $359, and we thought we're like, oh my God, this is incredible. And then I think 6 months later, we probably could have sold it for $469.
Yeah. That was in 2020 or?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was 2020. We closed one in 2021 that carried over. It was in February of 2021. It was our last spec we did. And it was when the market really shot up. And the original construction budget and appraisal when we started 10 months before came in at $489 and we sold it for $600.
Wow.
8 months later.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's how that market turned in those 8 months. So we hit that one.
Yeah. The
two before we kind of we missed because we got them under contract before as soon as we started building them. And then lumber prices went up, so we ended up spending 3x the amount on lumber.
Yeah.
And we were locked into that contract, so we couldn't
right.
catch up at the end, and we didn't want to screw over the buyers, so we just went with it. But again,
did y'all lose money on that one?
No, I think we ended up breaking even. But when you talk about 10 months of carrying, and you break even, it's actually probably a net loss because of all the work and time you put in.
Right.
Right.
But good learning experience.
Yes.
Though.
No, exactly right. And again, we turned around on that next one a year later and we hit it. So it kind of made up for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank goodness.
And I bet that that probably paid out way more than banking did, didn't it?
Oh yeah.
Both of all the houses.
Yeah. I mean, it was a nice extra side
Well, did it like
hustle.
surpass or
No,
surpass
it was pretty comparable.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still, though, I mean,
Yeah.
not, I don't know what your involvement was, but,
It was like having two salaries, which was nice, which allowed us to kind of, put into starting up those businesses too. I mean,
right.
Because a lot of them we did I say backwards. I mean, we didn't necessarily pull out loans or lending to start those businesses for build out and all that stuff. We kind of cash paid it up front, which was nice, but ends up sometimes biting you once you get in there, but it is what it is.
And when the virus came in 2020, did that affect the coffee house or salons at all?
So we weren't open yet. I think we opened at the end of that year on the coffee shop in the second location.
What about salon?
So they shut down for about 6 weeks. So I mean, and so it was kind of we didn't know, there was a lot of unknown, right? But funny enough, when we opened back up, like end of May, and then June, I think, was our biggest month of that year.
Oh, I bet.
In the salon.
Yeah.
Because
everybody wanted to get back in there.
Everybody that was at home for the 3 months, was ready to get their hair done.
Yeah. I can imagine.
So it was it was interesting. Those next 3 months after we opened was kind of bonkers. Plus, we were playing catch up on, 6 weeks of no revenue.
Right.
And having to have that carry over. We had some PPP funds that helped out, but, it was still a little bit of catching up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, the unknown of what the hell is going to happen.
Right.
That
was the big thing, is we don't know.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, and, yeah, so.
We thought that that was going to be a good buying opportunity for us, and we were wrong.
Yeah.
We thought, when the world shuts down and everybody's scared, we thought we were going to get some dirt cheap prices.
Everybody decided to start spending money.
Yeah, and then it went the complete opposite way.
Yeah.
So,
the con on that part was, that was when we were starting to plan that coffee shop, right? So and everything at that point started spiking or increasing in regards to costs across the board.
Yeah.
You talk about every industry getting hit with increased costs. I mean, you go to the grocery store and everything, is way more expensive than it was pre-2020,
yes.
right? So
someone told me, I think it was Doreen, told me she bought a gallon of orange juice the other day and it was $10.
Yeah.
I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah. So think about, like, we wholesale our milk, our whole milk, right, for the coffee shop, and we're still paying $5.50 a gallon.
Yeah.
At a wholesale price, right? And it's like it's still so, like, our forecasted, when we planned out, our numbers were completely different from when we started planning than when we opened.
Right.
So you got to adjust, right? You got to pivot and try to figure out how to make that work.
And I mean,
without having to make the consumer pay $10 for a coffee.
Right. So the price of coffee, didn't increase that much for the consumer, did it?
Not the same percentage as it did for the owners.
Yeah. So like the margins there just got
crushed, squeezed for sure. So it's been interesting. But just like any other thing, you just got to figure it out.
How's it going so far?
It's good. I mean, we just need more people. Yeah.
To come visit the shop?
Yeah.
So you got 2 shops, right?
Yep.
One in Hutto. And then the other one?
In Florence. Yep.
And y'all bought that building, right?
Yes. Yeah. We bought it and we just kind of basically lease it to ourselves. Yeah.
And that's a beautiful building.
Thank you.
I haven't been to the Hutto one, but Florence is beautiful the way you remodeled that on the inside. And
appreciate it.
Everything you got in there.
It's a great space. We need people taking advantage of it because we have the space. We just, we're trying to do more events and stuff like that. It's about 1,700 square foot. So about 500 square foot bigger than our Hutto spot. So plenty of more room. And we've got our little roaster out there. We're about to start roasting our own beans. So we're kind of in the mix of doing that. And that's just a whole nother process. But we're getting that hopefully ramped up pretty soon.
What do you think has been the struggle to get people into the shop?
Competition, I think, for the most part. I mean, I think competition, and then also just marketing, right? I mean, how do you know where to put your dollars to in regards to marketing, advertising, and then how do you know what's working?
ASMR.
Like, that's just like, yeah, exactly. So it's hard to, kind of navigate that, especially when you don't know that world in regards to like social media and marketing and advertising, and, do I spend money on newspapers or mail outs or a social media person? So it's just because we're a year and a half in Hutto, and there's definitely plenty of people that still come in and say, man, I didn't even know you guys were here. Right.
Yeah.
So how do you overcome that? I don't know the answer, but
I would think a lot of it. So, we don't own any retail shops at the moment or centers or anything like that, but I would think a lot of it has to do with the location. That would be my thought, which I assume that maybe you thought the same as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like the location brings in the consumer.
Sure. Yeah.
But you're saying it's not quite the case?
Yes and no, a little bit of both. Yeah, I mean, I think it should. We would think so, because we're in a really busy traffic HEB shopping center, right? But I think that we still get people that drive by and don't realize that we're there for whatever reason. And that might be because we're, small family owned, independent business, and not like a big name like Black Rock Coffee or Dutch Bros or whatever. I mean, so like those don't like, or Starbucks, right? So we don't.
Is your coffee
like
better
that.
than theirs?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
What makes it different?
Craft coffee, man. We make it the right way. We steam it the right way. We don't oversweeten it. All that good stuff. So yeah, I mean, theirs is essentially, I mean, kind of their route is the sweeter type of coffee, and they have a simple dark roast that they roast all their coffee on, and
all of them.
For the most part, yeah. Because they want to, I mean, they do so much. They want it as consistent as they can. So they just kind of like over roast their beans and then doll it up with flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
but people love it. I mean, good for them. I mean,
I'm curious.
Yeah.
I don't drink coffee.
Yeah.
I may drink coffee like once a year.
Sure.
And so like Dutch Bros, for example, I drive by it all the time, and it seems like people love Dutch Bros.
Yeah.
Kat said it's kind of like you said, sweet. I guess it's kind of just like
60 grams of sugar.
It's like milkshakes, basically,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah.
So everybody's just kind of lining up to get, sugar, as opposed to going there for the coffee aspect.
Yeah, and I think it's more of like an experience too, right? I mean, we have that, come in, plug in, hang out a little bit, have meetings, network, get on your computer, meet with a friend, have a beer as well. I mean, that experience is different than the drive-through experience, right? Or just the go.
Right.
That Starbucks or, Dutch Bros does. So,
Yeah.
their model is more of just getting in and out. And
Right.
But
That
ours
makes
is
sense.
kind of more of, we're more in suburbs, but, we kind of have that loungy Austin feel where, you could go to the coffee shop down the road and hang out for a bit.
So the marketing stuff, what are you doing to try and figure out there?
We just, it's about just throwing things out of the wall and seeing what sticks. I mean, really, that's what it is. I mean, we're,
What are you throwing?
trying a few things here and there. We've done a lot of mail outs in the local community
With
for
like
like
coupons
discount
and-
cards. Yeah, like little postcards. We've been in the Impact, social media. We've tried to give, go around and door knock, and or put put coupon cards and windshield wipers at the HEB parking lot. So
There you go.
we, you name it, I think we've tried it. It's just a matter of keep doing it. But I'm hoping as the town, as it grows, and we'll just hopefully get busier and busier.
What's the vision for Dwellhouse?
I don't know right now. I think we're just just kind of running with it right now with these two spots. I think the next, we're hoping to get the roasting. We're doing that under a separate name. and so it's going to be called Madhouse Coffee Roasters.
I like that.
Yeah, a little spin off of the Dwellhouse, but kind of like my vision is like a mad scientist roasting coffee beans, right? So that's next up. So we're going to invest in doing that and getting that ramped up and going. Hopefully
and
selling
so
some
have
beans.
your own brand of beans that you're selling.
Right. Yeah.
It
So we'd be able to use them in our stores and then also sell them to.
It seems like those types of names for roasters, or I guess, the people who sell the beans, like Death Wish or like Black Rifle Coffee or Madhouse. Is that what you're calling it? Madhouse Coffee?
Yeah, Madhouse Coffee Roasters.
I think it's a good name.
Yeah, thanks.
People seem to like the, if I drink this, it's going to make me crazy. They want,
Yeah, yeah. Get you
So-
hyped up.
So the goal is to be your own distributor
Yeah.
and kind of see how that goes.
Yeah, yeah, and then maybe get like a coffee cart or truck for the third Dwellhouse type of deal. So I don't know if we necessarily want to get a third spot, just because things are just so expensive right now.
Yeah.
Leasing, building out. I mean, everything's so expensive. Who knows? It will go down. I don't know if waiting it out is right either, but we could definitely, invest in getting a kiosk or a truck and getting those into events, which is a good ROI.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah. So that's kind of the next roasting and then a truck.
So roasting and then the truck.
Yep.
And then you just bring the truck to, what type of events would you bring them to? Anything like
Yeah.
ACL, for example?
I mean, any place that we could get into that's hosting an event that wants a truck, right? Or even private events, so like catering type of deals. So a lot of weddings hire, coffee trailers or kiosks. So I mean, or corporate networking events. I mean, you
Like
name
at
it.
the outlet mall?
At the what?
Outlet mall?
Yeah.
Something like that, too?
Yeah, for sure. If they allow it. I've seen them at the Domain. People post up.
Yeah, I've seen them at the Round Rock outlets.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Go hang out at the Express Game parking lot and sell
There
some
you go.
coffee. I don't know.
The
If they allow it.
the overhead much less than
Yes.
the brick and mortar.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Yeah. So
And then talk to me about real estate investing and what your goals are there.
yeah. So I mean, we just we're playing it long term. Really, I just want to accumulate as much as we can. For me, it's the thing is just being able to find the right partners and resources, and even if I don't get in on one and I could feed somebody else a deal, then that's what it's all about for me. And
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get in on more deals. I realize I'd rather own 10% of 10 properties than 100% of one property at this point. So I'm just trying to figure out how to find them and accumulate more. We've got 3 residential rentals right now that my wife and I own, and then we've got 4 or 5 commercial spots that I own with a buddy of mine.
Nice.
So
So you
just
have
trying to build on that.
you have a total of 7 properties?
Shoot, I lose track. 7 or 9.
Okay.
Or 2 of them are empty lots, so I don't know
Got
if
it.
I consider them.
The 3 rental properties you'll have single family homes?
Mm-hmm.
Where are they located at?
One's in Bertram, one's in Leander, and one's in Georgetown.
Okay. And then the
Yep.
commercial?
3 in Bertram and 1 in Burnett. Oh, and then the one in Florence that we own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you have a goal for like how many you want to own, or like a passive cash flow number that you're trying to hit?
No, I don't have any specifics. I'd rather just
Do deals?
do deals. Yeah.
That's the fun part.
Yeah, and acquire, right? I mean, I just I want to be able to have a portfolio of 100 different properties. I don't know,
Yeah.
and whatever that looks like, and they don't necessarily need to be giving me passive income just because. For me, it's more of a long-term play in regards to what that looks like in 30 years that I can maybe pass on to kids or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's kind of where I'm at on it.
And
But if I could make some money on it along the way,
well, you absolutely can.
yeah. So that's the beauty of it too, right? Because we've been able to cash out of some of our rentals to be able to help pay for our businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all tax-free.
Pulling equity out to,
Yeah. So, I mean, the 2 houses, the Bertram and the Leander one, we actually picked up before the boom went.
Mm-hmm.
So we got them at really good prices, and we were able to refi and pull money out, and didn't cost us a dime, and we were able to throw that into our business.
Yep.
I could go buy $100,000 worth of coffee equipment because I did a good in real estate investment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, this is Alex, and I'm the co-owner of TRE. Since the beginning of time, real estate has created more millionaires than any other investment, and I want to get you involved in a community that will help you achieve your goals within real estate investing. I know you don't have the knowledge, connections, or resources to start investing today. Most people spin their wheels over and over and over without ever actually taking any action to successfully start investing. That's why I want to get you involved in our community so that you can get the hands-on support, training, and meet the other members that you can start doing deals with in order to start investing in real estate. You need to get in the room with the right people who can help you achieve your goals and get the hands-on support and one-on-one training that you need in order to start investing. Just click on the link in the description to join the entrepreneur community today.
Or in the future too, it funds more real estate investments.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, that's the idea. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're doing all the right things. I mean, Matt and I are really impressed with
thanks.
the work that you put in, and we're excited. And you send a lot of deals. We're looking at a few with you, right? And like the motel in Rockdale, it's a long game. Still working it, aren't we?
Still working it, yeah.
Still working it. I don't know where those 3 mobile homes are that you were looking at.
He didn't want to come down on the price, so I mean, we're still in touch, but
Still working it.
yeah, still working it.
How about the land that you pitched at the original pitch before the?
So I'm bringing it back. So
Okay.
we actually
Are you
put
pitching it today?
I'm going to pitch a different one. I'm actually going to pitch my rentals today.
All right, I like it.
I want to get either sell them or actually give up some ownership to be able to
Get some equity out.
get some ownership of somebody else's deal. I don't know.
Okay.
It'll be an interesting pitch. We'll see. We'll see what the feedback is.
I'm excited.
If I could give up 50% of my rentals of some equity and somebody else can give me some of their, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Matt tries to do that all the time.
Yeah.
Nobody really is too interested in it, but Matt's
Well,
always like, let's merge them.
yeah.
Let's merge the portfolios.
So I like that idea, especially when he sent out just that most recent deal on that 8-plex down in, I think, Corpus. I'm like, man, I'd love to get in on that, but I don't have maybe the capital to, right? But I'm willing to restructure my rental to give up either some ownership or to gain some from that. I don't know what that exactly looks like, but
It can be
it's a
figured out.
conversation. Yeah. So that's kind of, that's what I'm open to looking at doing, which will be fun.
Well, tell
But
me
that
about the
land deal is, I still like it. We actually put in an offer. We're about $50,000 off in regards to the difference. So
Are you working with Alex?
yeah.
Okay.
Navarro.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So we're trying to get them to come down another 50 and accept our feasibility period. So if they do that, but it's been a few weeks and we haven't heard back, so I think it's time for a follow-up.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's a great, I love the property. I just think it's a steal. It's 96 acres, Salado address. It's two different, it's like 82 acres and then like 14 acres. It's 2 different lots. The 14 can easily be like a mobile home park or RV park or storage facility or parking lot. It's got a little old house on it too that could be the main office. So it's got some opportunity.
What's Alex thinking on it in terms of like entitlement or development?
Yeah, I think the hard part is that larger acreage is skinny and long and has some floodplain issues in the middle of it. So it's not an ideal property to like entitle or plat out. So no developer is going to want to come in there and build 200 homes because it's just not that type of lot.
Yeah.
But if you're still getting it under $10,000 an acre, to me, land is land. It's still a good buy. for one. For two, it could definitely be a spot where somebody could come in there and do some sort of like, glamping thing or a bed and breakfast, kind of what I originally pitched. I don't think I would personally take that on, but it could be easily done. I mean, you think of like places like that Sage Inn down in Buda. It's like 80 acres, and it's got, a few different, like a little bed and so something like that could be easily done.
Yeah.
And we don't really have a lot of that on the north side. It's all west and south.
Right.
So when you think of bed and breakfasts like that, I mean, there's an opportunity, I think, in general on the north side of town.
Yeah. Matt found a collection of quotes recently.
Mm-hmm.
You seen him posting those?
Oh, yeah.
And one he posted the other day was, I forget who it was by, but the best investment on earth is earth.
Yeah, yeah. My old CEO at the bank used to say, you can't get hurt with dirt.
Yeah, you can't get hurt with dirt.
So it's kind of similar. I almost responded to him, but yeah, it's the same concept. Yeah.
So the land's being brought back. What else are you looking at right now?
The problem with the land is that it's just an expense, right? Until you start making money on it, you got to be able to sit on it. So
right.
That's the only hiccup on that. I mean, I'm looking at a few. There's a little spot in Liberty Hill that I really like. It's a house, and he's got a concept to turn it into like a little office park / maybe food truck park.
The same one?
That's a different one.
Different one?
Yeah, so that's one that, maybe we could reach out to or call. But, so, I mean, that one. And then there's that old furniture building out in Copper's Cove that I came across and actually went and chatted with the city about. That's interesting. I just don't know what the end result could be with it. That's
not the one that we originally looked at where you went there and it only had walls.
No. That was Bartlett.
Okay. Yeah. Bartlett.
No, that was interesting.
Yeah. So what's up with the furniture store?
Yeah, I mean, essentially it's vacant. It's an old furniture store. I guess the owner, I mean, it's been there for 60 years, and owner passed away a few years ago, so it got transferred over to the kids, and the kids just, I mean, it's empty. Mm-hmm. Sitting at a corner, 20,000 square foot
warehouse.
And, I mean, it's essentially a big like you would walk into like a
gotcha.
Rooms to go.
Uh-huh.
But imagine it being empty.
Right.
So it's basically that. With walls in between different sections. But in theory, when you look at it on paper, you could turn it into six or 8 different retail shops if you wanted to.
Yeah, good spot in Copper's Cove?
Yeah, it's right on the corner of Main and Avenue D.
Okay.
A lot of traffic.
Yeah.
1.4 mil.
It's listed?
Mm-hmm.
How long's it been listed?
About a year.
Huh.
It's dropped only $200K, so it was originally, I think, 1.6. But
what's the broker saying?
I think they're motivated because the kids are just sitting on it. I think
they own it free and clear.
I believe so.
Seller financing. You talked about that yet?
Yeah, I think they want to just clean their hands with it. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I haven't been able to talk to the end seller.
Yeah.
It's always through the agent. We know how those agents are, right?
Yeah.
Seller finance. No. They always say no before they even ask the.
Right. No, that won't work.
Yeah. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm still working. I really wanted to meet with the city for one to get that experience, right? Well, which is pretty cool too. Figure out like what they would allow. And then what their wants are, needs and wants. I mean, you don't want to come in and convert it to something that they don't want in the city, right? So,
what'd you learn?
They're very open. I mean, they're open to. There's a lot of opportunity in regards to like what that's zoned for. It could be a number of different things. You can, if you wanted to, you can convert it to apartments or little short-term rentals, I believe.
One story?
There's one upstairs unit one upstairs area that was like their office / break room, and it doesn't have a downstairs to it. So, but yeah, I mean, to me, there's a lot of opportunity. I just trying to figure out what angle to go at and
Let's check it out.
How to sell it to somebody.
Yeah.
I could pitch it today.
Pitch whatever you want today.
Okay.
We got two signed up so far, but like you didn't submit anything, so I'm sure there's gonna be more people who.
Right. Yeah. I got between this and noon to submit something.
No, you're good. You just submitted it.
Yeah. There you go.
So.
Yeah, but I mean, just things like that. I like to look at, like the commercial properties that we got in Bertram and Burnett. It was a for lease sign for a lot in Bertram that I called the guy because I wanted to lease his lot to put a trailer for a coffee shop trailer on it. I met him out there. We started talking and it morphed into, oh, hey, I'll sell it to you. Right. Okay, how much do you want me to sell me the lot? Which has an ice machine on it, by the way, and we get $500 from that, which is kind of nice.
Wait, you lease out the
ice machine on the lot.
Huh, that's
and then seasonally we get like a little snow cone place that goes down there and leases it as well. Anyway,
nice.
Yeah, it's pretty. But and then I was like, yeah, I'd be really into that. He goes, actually, you know what? I've got 3 other properties, and the only way I'll sell them is if you buy all 4 of them. And that's kind of how that morphed into it. And it was off. So that for lease sign turned into an off-market purchase where we were able to get it, probably, a few $100,000 less than what
market was.
Yeah, what the appraisals came in at because the owner didn't know. We didn't have any agents, so we just worked out a sell that way. That's kind of how that morphed. So I like to call for lease signs, because and ask them if they want to sell, right?
Yeah. No, they're great. Did you hear the call with Phyllis?
Yeah, that was essentially the same thing, right?
They're great
you call
leads.
as a, hey, ask them about the lease and then transition into, well, would you ever sell? And sometimes they'll say, well, as a matter of fact, yeah, I'm tired of having this, or whatever. But I have this other property that I'm willing to sell. Right. That's the other thing.
The for lease by owner signs, I think, are really good seller finance opportunities. Yeah. Because if they could receive generally around the same amount they would get by leasing it out, but not have to be responsible for taxes, maintenance, insurance, they're pretty good leads.
For sure. Yeah.
Phyllis was a trip.
Did Matt go?
Matt
met with her.
Matt went and met with her. There might be something there. Yeah. The houses she has on it that she's renting out, they're pretty nice.
They look like they're pretty decent.
Yeah.
Little cabin style, like.
Little cabins. Problem with it is it's a little bit further. I mean, I guess I don't know anything about Goliad, but Goliad's, as we figured out, it's 1,600 population, give or take. And this property is about 6 miles out of town, which, it's a little bit further out. Sure. So not the best location, but motivated seller, interesting situation.
Yeah, exactly.
See if we could figure something out.
Right. Yep. Yeah. So that's kind of, I like the for lease. I mean, that's kind of, I come across these commercial deals and then some of the for lease signs and trying to morph them into deals. One of them's got a hit.
What are you looking for right now within any business? I mean, the coffee shops, the salon, real estate investing, for anybody watching who may have what you desire and you have what they desire, what are you looking for?
Partners, right? Really that's it. It's just trying to find the right people that have the capital, the right people that want to JV something. That's essentially it. It's almost like, you could, you go through and try to find these deals and then it's just, I think a lot of people get to that point, right? Where they think they find a deal or they have a deal and now what, right? So that's kind of, just trying to figure out how to be able to close on more of these deals that you may come across.
Well, you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
The wholesale deal, what happened with that one?
I think I realized that there wasn't as much. For one, we didn't find somebody to buy it. Our option period came.
Did you drop it?
Yeah, so I had to make a decision. and we dropped it. I thought about maybe just running with it myself, but I talked to a few more local people there, and I don't think there was as much meat on the bone as we originally thought, so we just dropped it. Yeah.
All right. Good experience though, right?
Yeah, for sure.
What was your option fee?
$100.
$100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$100.
Great learning experience for the next one.
Yes, for sure.
Was that the first one you tried to wholesale?
Yep. Yeah.
So now you know what to do when you do get one under contract.
Yes.
And kind of what to look for with the meat on the bone.
Yeah.
You know, to make sure that someone will be.
Yeah, especially out in not the most popular areas, right? Mm-hmm. So like this deal was in Lampasas, and for the most part, I thought the numbers were right, but I think more people are more willing to take a risk on like a market like Austin, right, or Round Rock, or some like a bigger town than a smaller town out in like Lampasas or Vernon or Bertram, Florence, things like that. So
yeah,
that's kind of another thing I realized.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely more buyers.
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
But more competition too.
Sure.
On trying to get good deals under contract to wholesale.
Right.
So it's kind of a double-edged sword.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Because I think I like Lampasas. I think there's a lot of opportunity. You get a lot of them under, somewhere between 50 and 80K and fix them up. But we'll see. I'll keep my eyes out on them.
Our family had a deer lease out in Lampasas, I think it was.
Oh, yeah?
And it's interesting little city.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think it'll, especially once that tollway goes
down 183.
Yeah. And then apparently 138, which is that east-west one that goes from 183 to Florence. It's supposed to keep going all the way to Jarrow, and supposed to be a major east-west.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
which is
what I'm
going to be
talking
nice.
about.
Yeah.
And that's kind of right near the land that you're looking at too, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I've been looking at a lot of different houses. There's a ton that are listed, surprisingly, out in Florence off of 138. So I don't know if they're just wanting to get out of town before it gets busy out there or
Maybe.
what. But
yeah,
it's an interesting spot too, because I think Florence will be blown up here in the next few years.
You got the nicest shop in Florence, don't you?
Got it. I think so. I hope
we
so.
went to a few.
Yeah.
That day that we went out to your shop.
Oh, okay.
That weekend, went to a few different
Walked
shops.
around, yeah.
And you got the nicest place there.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. All right. So where can people find your coffee shops? Find your Instagram accounts? How can people reach out to you and buy some coffee from you?
Yeah.
Get a hair appointment, or do some real estate deals with you?
Yeah. So our social medias are what? Salt and Wave Salon. We're in Hutto and Leander. Coffee shop is Dwellhouse.Coffee and Tap. And we're in Hutto and Florence. And then we're on, personally, I'm on there as well. And then Facebook. We have websites as well for each of those businesses.
And then Madhouse Coffee. Madhouse Coffee coming soon.
Yeah, coming soon. We'll be roasting coffee beans. And
then what about for real estate? How can someone give you a call, reach out to you?
Yeah, email me, dbed35@gmail, dbed35@gmail, or give me a ping, 512-773-9443.
He made it simple for you guys with his email, spelling out his name.
Yeah. It's funny because it's all especially my last name. It's got all those letters that sound like other letters, right? So when I spell it out, people are like, "Wait, what are you saying?" B-E-D, and it's just like, is that a B or V or Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Anyways,
D-bed. And what would be your advice for people who are watching this, who maybe are in the situation that you and your wife were in prior to making that jump, or looking for real estate deals? What's your advice to them?
Man, I think for sure, it's like just support, right? So have your spouses supporting spouses, right? And then your tight-knit group that you have, the more support you have, the easier it is to take a risk, right? And then take that risk. I mean, that's the biggest thing, is that fear, right? I mean, we got to the point where like, screw it, let's just go all in, right? And and it's not easy to write that check, right? But just do it. I mean, we got to the point where like the worst thing that could happen is like we're back to, I got to go find a job and we're back to square one and everything else is fine, right? I mean, that's the reality of like taking a leap on like business or betting on yourself, or even in real estate, right? I mean, to throw in money on a deal, you just gotta, sometimes it's that no fear, sometimes it's just taking that risk of like it working out, and sometimes it won't work out, and that's okay. You just keep doing it. For us, the value is learning. I mean, we've learned so much in the last 5 years in regards to business and people and real estate and partners and marketing. And I mean, it's invaluable. I mean, it really is. Like between 20 years old and 35, the first 15 years of my career life and the last 5, I mean, I've learned so much in the last 5 by just taking just jumping in and instead of just thinking about it.
Yeah.
When I was in corporate, and I learned a lot. They trained me well, right? They trained me really well, but I mean, that's about it, right?
Yeah.
So I have some value in that. But experience, it's go out and experience these things. I mean, go sit in a city council meeting, write a check for the real estate purchase, or start that business that it's $20,000, do it, or whatever it is. I mean, that's just kind of my, you got to get that mindset around that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
you heard it here
I think
first.
as long as you get to that point and you're not timid about it, right? It's just like, think about like investing in stocks, right? I mean, it's that guy that like, you can't be the person that you throws in money into a stock and like looks at it every day, right? I mean,
I'm that guy.
Yeah, you can't, well, I mean, yeah. So, you got to be able to like know that it'll work out, right? And play the longer game as opposed to like trying to get that immediate gratification.
It's one reason why I don't like stocks.
I don't like them either.
I can't log into my real estate account, look at the value of my shares every day, and decide to sell a couple of them.
Right. Yeah.
Stocks.
I was in the market. I'm guilty for that, and I'm not. I'm out of it completely because I don't like that either. I don't like the fluctuations of
volatility
things.
Of it,
and the volatility, and it's just but I like business. I like betting on myself, and I like betting on real estate. So
best investment on earth is earth.
Yeah, can't get here with dirt.
What were we gonna say?
Playing the longer game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is.
That's what it is. And you can, like you were talking about earlier, I mean, you can capitalize on both. What we've been talking to you and everybody else about, and what we practice and do is make money on the buy, for sure, right? So you're making money now. It's not just betting on the future.
Sure.
Trying to figure out, especially in this environment, how to not lose money with debt on properties because interest rates are so high. So getting some sort of cash flow along the way as much as you can. And then you get all the upside on top of it, but you're at least securing your investment today. It's kind of, you can't really, unless you feel like the stock is undervalued, you can't really go into your Fidelity account today, see Apple at, I don't know what it is, $120 a share, and say, I'm going to make an offer at $80 a share.
Right.
But you can do that with real estate.
Yeah.
And you can get it.
Exactly.
And you can buy into value day one.
Yeah, I think so. It's even more so now, right, than it was in the past of like making money on the buy. I mean, getting that deal, right, and being patient and making sure that's the right deal because of the rate market, right? I mean, it's just there's just such a big difference in regards to what you're able to get back then for the rate and what you can now. I mean, you've got to really think about that.
Yeah.
When you talk about price,
right,
and cash flow, I mean, you can't cash flow the same property anymore.
No, not at the same price.
No.
A new price you can.
Yeah. And taxes and all that. I mean, taxes and insurance have gone up like crazy across the board.
Have.
So,
It's
I mean,
crazy.
So yeah, I mean, you got to be patient and smart about it.
Go out there and experience. Just do it.
That's right.
Like Nike.
Write the check.
Can't get hurt with dirt.
Can't get hurt there.
Heard it here first. Well, thank you.
I like that Nike. What was that? Shoe Dog. That book?
Shoe Dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
Phil Knight.
Yeah. Good book.
It is. Well, thank you for coming on today.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
I'm gonna see you in about an hour.
Yep.
And you're gonna pitch your portfolio.
Yes.
To the entrepreneur community.
Yes.
All right. We'll see you there.
We'll see how it goes. Thank you.